Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a good holidays and some good times with your families. I appreciate you having me back today. I'm talking about a knife that I got yesterday, and that is the the Triiaxis Midnight. So this knife is a knife that I ordered from the maker directly back in October in the configuration that I requested. So I asked for an acid wash blade. I asked for some anodizing on the pocket clip and on the back spacer, as well as the hardware, which is all kind of a bronzy anodizing. And yeah, that is the configuration I asked for. I just got it. It's in Magna Cut. Let me do some quick size comparison. So first off, PM3, quite close to the size of the PM3. Maybe a little less of a cutting edge, but very similar in size. Then we've got the PM2, obviously smaller than the PM2 because it's close in size to the PM3. And then last but not least, actually I think this is the most important size comparison because it has some major similarities to this knife, is the Oz Roosevelt. Obviously you can see that it is almost the same size as the Oz Roosevelt. It has a little bit more handle than the Oz. As you can see, it sticks out a little bit. But they are extremely similar in a lot of ways. I'm going to go into how and why that's a really cool thing. Also, let me just show you the actual size of the blade. It's about the full from the tip to the tang is a little less than 3.2 inches. Yeah, about 3.1 inches. It's got a cutting edge of probably 2 3/4. Yeah, just over 2.5. Yeah, so not a huge blade, but that's actually a good thing, I think, for most EDC knives. Makes it basically legal everywhere to carry, and that is fantastic. So how is this similar to the Oz Roosevelt? Well, first of all, let's talk about build quality. Honestly, everything about this knife, every detail is super well thought out. The maker obviously is really passionate about making very high quality things. So let's go into a few of those things. First off, we have our ergonomics. So the ergos on this knife are absolutely excellent. It fills the hand perfectly with this front choil. I really like that grip, but also it offers a second grip, which is further back, and I can get a full 4 fingers on there, and I wear large or extra large gloves. So ergonomics are absolutely excellent. Actually, the ergos are a little more diverse than the Rosie. The Rosie, in order to use, you really have to use just that one position. The Triiaxis Midnight offers multiple positions that are very comfortable. That's excellent. And then my favorite thing about this knife, as far as the details of the maker, is the milling he did on the inside. So let's see if you can see that. Yeah, you can see this milling. The whole knife is totally just grid milled out, and it looks fantastic, and he did such a good job of milling that out. Truly incredible. This knife, so I showed you a minute ago, it is a fair bit longer than the Rosie. It probably has a 1/2 inch because of the way the back spacer is, and this knife weighs only 3 grams more than the Rosie, which is a very light knife. So the Rosie weighs 85 grams, this weighs 88 grams, which is about 3.1 ounces. So why am I comparing it to the Rosie? Well, because it is basically very similar to the Rosie in a lot of ways, with blade length and all that, titanium construction, their ergo-centric design, but it has a sheep's foot or a Warncliffe, whatever you want to call this blade, which some people prefer. I prefer a drop point like the Rosie, but this is really, a Rosie with the sheep's foot blade, and I really very much appreciate that the designer spent the time to get the details right on this knife, just like the Roosevelt, and make it his own. Another detail is this milled pocket clip that is excellent. Is a deep carry milled pocket clip. It goes great in kind of normal everyday pants. It's a little narrow for thicker pants, like some like Carhartt pants or something. I felt like the pocket clip was going to bend with that, but on normal like jeans or whatever, it's absolutely perfect. It has an over travel stop, which you can see here, a steel lock bar insert. The lockup is obviously just like a vault, not going anywhere. It has a captured pivot, which I love. Free spinning pivots. Hello, Oz Roosevelt, please do non-free spinning pivots. captured pivot is definitely superior to free spinning pivot. It uses a size T8 hardware all around. Yeah, the details on this knife are excellent. And speaking of details, I just want to point out something that shows how much the maker cares about his designs and his knives. Usually I don't care about boxes. I keep boxes in order to resell knives, but the amount of thought and design that went into the box that was built for the Triiaxis, I can't not bring it up in this review. So this is the box it comes in. It comes with some other box stuff too, obviously really well wrapped and all that stuff. So it's a little slide out magnetic tray that magnetically holds the knife in place. If I can put it in, look at this, holds the knife in place. It's really pretty solid in there. I wouldn't like shake it hard, but it holds it well enough for when you're putting it in and out of the box. And you just can slide it right into this box and store your knife like that. The magnets keep it in place. And then on the back here, you can see the spot for the COA. But here's the thing. It's not just a storage box for this. I'm gonna slide it out. It's also a display box. So you flip it over and you slide the knife in like this, and then it is a display for your knife. How cool is that? It is completely unnecessary, but so cool and extremely it just proves what type of maker this guy is, who builds these Triiaxis knives. And not only that, but you can also actually display the knife open. It can still be stored in this way, in the open position. I just think that is an attention to detail and time spent that is completely unnecessary, but incredible. It really just shows what type of maker he is. Also, he sends a tool with this, it's on the inside right now. He sends a tool specifically with the knife for disassembling. It's a little screwdriver that's stored in the box, and it's because there's a hidden screw in this hole in the back spacer to take apart the knife. I have not taken it apart, so I don't know exactly how that works, but you need it to take the knife apart, and I appreciate that he includes it if it's a little bit kind of a specific tool. So I have to talk about one thing that I don't like about this knife, and it's really just the guillotine nature of it. It's a really good action, and he actually put in place a little knob on the back of the blade, so when you're dropping it shut, it hits your nail, and then you can get your finger out of the way and then shut it. The problem is that I have a habit of kind of choking back on the knife and just guillotining my finger. You can see on my thumb, I've cut myself multiple times with this knife, and I've had it for a day. These are all from this knife, and that's because also this knife comes with a razor sharp edge from the factory. It is very, very sharp. I'm really impressed. He spends a lot of time on the edge too. Surprise, surprise, he spends a lot of time on the whole thing. So yeah, that is one thing that is a little difficult, because also with the way the blade is shaped, your finger gets hit exactly with kind of the point of this choil where the choil meets the blade, so it's kind of like a stabby action, and it does not feel great, but that's actually mostly user error. Another thing about this knife that people may notice is it looks like the blade to handle ratio is way off. It's not. It just is the way the blade is shaped. You can see that the blade just, if it didn't fit so far on the handle, you could see the ratio is really close, but because of the way the blade is shaped, it looks like the blade is kind of goofy and small, but it's definitely not. It's appropriate for this size handle. Like I said, action is excellent. Honestly, it's got a better thumb action than the Rosie, and that's because of the way he designed this. The opening hole, it just sits in a way where you can't really do it wrong. And also the lock bar size is a little bit smaller than the Rosie. I'm not very good at thumb opening my Rosie in general. I just have a hard time getting leverage on the way that's shaped. It's definitely one of the best reverse flick knives out there, but this is maybe as good in the reverse flick, and definitely better in the thumb opening, in my opinion. It's easier to access, and just for some reason the shape of that hole makes it easier. Anyways, those are my first impressions of the Triiaxis Midnight. This knife is truly excellent. If you like the idea of a rosy, or you've handled a rosy, but you're like, the blade shape's not for me, I want something more sheep's foot or Warncliffey or whatever you want to call it, get this. It really is, you know, a rosy with a different blade shape. And I mean that in all the best ways possible. The maker really cares about details, obviously, and spends a ton of time on each one of these knives and has spent a ton of time designing a knife that is super well thought out. He obviously cares about the manufacturing too, because he makes these crazy boxes that are completely unnecessary and completely awesome. So honestly, I can't recommend this knife enough. If it appeals to you, if you like the look of it, order one. Get on his books. His books are often open. You won't be disappointed. You really won't. It's an excellent quality knife. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and we will catch you on the next one.